Hi, hello, I'm Jenny, and today I'm going to share with you some knits that behaved, some knits that didn't, and a new spinning wheel in the studio. So welcome to the Gold Spun podcast. I'm Jenny, and I'm going to share with you knitting, spinning, occasional crochet, and whatever else I may get up to. So come along for the ride. So I am here in South Central Kentucky, and a lot of times it's just too warm to wear nice woolly sweaters and things like that here. And that certainly directs my knitting journey. I do a lot of shawls, which I adore. I just don't get to knit and wear as many delicious, squishy, woolly sweaters. But I'm still interested in knitting them. So what I have for my finished object today, have a guess? It's the Lucrezia sweater. Probably not pronouncing that correctly. It is by Fabel Knitwear. I did this in drops mohair, and it's just holding 2 strands double. And what really attracted me to this sweater design, it looked romantic and flouncy and just different from a lot of the other sweaters that I see out there. So this one, we've got the floofy shoulders, which really drew me in. But you do have to, of course you're creating that design with how it's knit, but it's also recommended that you add some elastic in. And this is my first time wearing it, freshly blocked, fresh off the blocking boards. And I have not added elastic to a knitwear design before. So I'm kind of wondering, did I put mine in correctly? Is it, I want to zhuzh it. Is it exactly the way I want it? So this may be a situation where I wear it a bit and then go back and make some tweaks. However, let me get up and show you what we have going on here. I love the lace detail around the hem and the cuffs. It is recommended to put some elastic into the cuffs too, and what you're going to get is blousing of the sleeve then over the wrist. And I haven't done that yet, and it shows. And I really wasn't sure if I was going to, because you can see that the cuff does cinch in. And so I wanted to give it a little wear, see what I thought about it, and decide if I really, because I don't necessarily like things squeezing in too much. And so I thought, I'll wear it and see what I think. And I do think that it needs that. But yeah, I just think it's adorable. And it is quite warm. It really is. Mother Nature is at it again here in Kentucky. We had temps, we almost hit 90 degrees yesterday. And as I'm recording this, today is March 23rd. So, that's ludicrous. Almost 90 degrees yesterday. Today it's in the low 50s. But this time I have to say, she was working with me. Mother Nature was in my favor, gave me the opportunity to get to wear this brand new, fresh off the needles sweater that I knit. So very pleased with that. and I think this week we are going to be enjoying some cooler temps. And so, yeah, maybe I'll get a little wear out of her before I have to tuck her away until next December. Because we just don't get a lot of cold weather here in Kentucky. And so I'm very pleased to finally have this finished. I started it sometime last year, and then I finished it, and I wasn't sure really what I thought about it. And so I tucked it away into the project bag, didn't weave in the ends, didn't block it. I was just like, I don't know. So I put her away for many, many months, got her back out, looked her back over, and I thought, at that point in time, I was unhappy with, I think, the way the lace looked, even though You know, I realize lace always looks crumpled up before it's blocked. Blocking completely transforms lace. And I know it does to some extent, even just stockinette, but with lace, that transformation is bigger. It goes from looking like a crinkled up grocery bag to, you know, to something open and beautiful. And so blocking really counts with your lace work. And even when you're knitting lace, it can be a little scary. The whole time you're going, you're like, oh, this doesn't look right. This doesn't look right. And it won't. It won't until you actually spread it open and give it a good blocking. And then it's this beautiful thing that you've worked so hard for and that you've been waiting to see. And so, as you can probably tell, I do enjoy knitting lace. But so here it was, I hadn't even blocked it, and I had decided I didn't like the way the lace work was looking. And so I took out the hem, took both cuffs off, completely redid those, and then blocked it. I got straight to blocking it, not necessarily. A few weeks after I got it off the needles the second time, then I finally blocked it, and yay, here it is. Finally getting to wear it. Beautiful new knit, fresh off the needles. And I love her. She was what I envisioned. This is the only shirt I own in this style with like the poofy shoulders. So that's a little different for me. And I don't know what I think about that for sure. But more wear will tell how I really feel about it. But right now I'm enjoying her. Happy to have her. And so that's what I have completed. There's my one and only finished object today. And we'll move along to right here next to me. I have, and this is just something else that I've finished in the past year. I wish you could feel this. Oh, you know what? This is doing some funky stuff with color transformation. We don't need that in our lives. We just don't need that. Okay, here we go. One Love by Locatelli. And oh my goodness, I wish you could feel this. This is the lightest, softest, just bougiest feeling little shawl that has ever come off my needles. And I got the joy and satisfaction of knitting this in my hand spun. And my hand spun is, it always has inconsistencies in it. And I don't necessarily try and spin so that it doesn't. I really enjoy the inconsistency of my hand spun. I want that more rustic look in hand spun yarn. And so, so I'm not working towards anything different. I'm not trying to make my hand spun more consistent because I really enjoy the look of the hand spun that I'm making. And so I'm sure that this would look very different were it done with a really consistent hand spun or a really consistent commercial yarn. That's not what I was going for. This is exactly what I was going for. So this is my hand spun and hand dyed yarn, and I could not be happier. And it feels, it's just light as air, and it is so soft that I barely even feel it in my hands. I believe, if I recall correctly, I believe this was Rambouillet. And I am just over the moon with this, completely delighted. And it's One Love by Locatelli. And it's a one skein shawl, which I think those are so fun. I have several one skein shawls. I really enjoy knitting them. I love how fast they work up. They just fly off the needles, and in no time flat, you have this new adorable little thing to wear around. And again, Kentucky weather. So these, and again, fingering weight, I don't think I said that. These little fingering weight one skein shawls are just the easiest thing to wear in my climate. They give you just that little bit of warmth against the wind or the chill in the wintertime, but you can still get some wear out of them into the spring and starting in later fall. And so I just get so much wear out of garments like this in this climate. It's really perfect. So happy with that. I had, you know, it's worked in garter stitch, and then it has, let me get it again. I'm just so happy with this. It has the fun little lace bits. So, you know, you're not getting bored. It's an easy pattern, and even picot edges. So for me, this was just really a good time. So fun to wear, beautiful, and a really great temperature for me. So absolutely loved this. Everything about it. Highly recommend. And let's see, another finished object that I brought with me to show to you today. If you know, you know. This was Westknits MusiKAL 2025, the MusiKAL. Oh my word. Anyone who has done a Westknits MusiKAL, you already know what an adventure, what a wild ride you are on. I mean, strap in, because you're going. And so this absolutely did not disappoint. Oh my goodness. It was so topsy-turvy in that there's absolutely no way to anticipate where that was going to go next. Like I said, just what a wild ride. What a wild ride. This was so fun to do. We had welts. So if you can see, these are elevated. So loads of texture. I chose the brioche option. Oh, got puppy dog laying on the end. I did choose the brioche option. So we have lovely brioche bits. Like lace eyelets. It was just such an adventure. And this was, of course, a modular knit. This is one of my favorite parts. I love almost the basket weave texture that this accomplished. And again, we've got more brioche for the border, and I switched my colors up a bit there. This I did in the yarn I used for this shawl was all fingering weight, and the composition was 80% wool. I've got it written down. 10% mulberry silk and 10% cashmere. I did use mohair that I held together. If you can see a little bit of halo. And I did it in all the bits that were that delicious golden color. I held that mohair for the halo. Absolutely loved it. Like I said, what a wild ride. So far, all of the MusiKAL, the Westknits MusiKALs that I've participated in have made massive shawls, which I love. I love that for the winter time here. And so that was just a really great time for me. I love the community involved in doing Stephen Westknits MusiKALs. It's just a really great time. They have, let's see, Knit365 does Zooms, and I always hop in. I don't necessarily catch the Zoom, but I at least go back later and watch them afterwards if I'm not able to participate when they occur. I try to get in there if I'm able to on the actual Zoom when it's happening. What a great time. It's just so much fun. Highly recommend. But it will test you, or at least it does me. It is, it really requires, for me, I'm a slower knitter, and so it requires a great deal of discipline and endurance, because I really want to keep up. I really want to be ready for the next clue when it comes out. And so it's a marathon knit for me, but that's part of the fun. But also, it's difficult for me that it's always going on through October, because that's one of my busiest months of the entire year. And so probably a month when I have the least amount of knitting time. And that makes it a lot more difficult for, I keep looking over at this shawl, that makes it a lot more difficult for me to keep up. And so, I mean, it's almost like if you're playing a video game like Mario Kart and they're throwing obstacles out in the way, that's exactly what it feels like. You know, I'm doing this marathon knit, but there are all these other activities and events going on through the month of October that are going to take away from my knitting time. But I want to be ready for the next clue, because for me, it's the most fun when I'm eager. I mean, I'm always eager for the next clue, but when I'm ready, when I can sink my needles into it as soon as he releases it, that's what I want when I'm doing the Westknits MusiKAL. It is so much fun. It is such a good time. Highly recommend it. Absolutely. Let's see. The other thing I brought along to show you today, I have not yet endeavored to do a great deal of color work knitting. I want to. I keep seeing all of these gorgeous color work sweaters. I'm like, yes, I want those. But I had, before I knit these were my very first color work knit, and this was just within the last year, and I just wanted to sink my needles into some color work, try and have a go at it, and see just how difficult it would be for me. And so these are the socks that I knit, and they are knit in hand spun. The white is my hand spun, and let's see, the gray is a drops yarn. I don't know if I still have the label. I bet I don't. I'm not real great at that. I'm working on it. It was so fun to knit. And this being my very first color work project, I had heard so many things about color dominance, and I was like, is that, you know, there are so many people out there who are like, oh, that's not even a real thing. Don't even concern yourself with it, right? Okay, well, I wanted to find out for myself. I switched hands. You can see it. I can see it. You be the judge. Is color dominance real? Certainly looks to me like it is. Now I know. Yeah. So when I dive into a beautiful colorwork sweater, I will keep dominance in mind. And so, yeah, sure looks real to me. But I love these socks. Of course, and these were a fingering weight. I did knit these in a fingering weight, but they're thicker than any of my other fingering weight socks because of the two colors. Oh, you're asking to see my floats. Of course. Yeah, let me turn this inside out. Let you have a gander at the floats in there. Well, this is easier said than done, pulling a sock inside out. So I probably erred on this side of making them intentionally, making them a little too long. Oh, some little ends that I'm not so very careful with on the inside. So yes, intentionally I probably let them be even just a little longer than necessary. You can see the fuzzy yarn. And you know, and that was because I was being overly cautious about not making them too tight because, you know, all the research that I had done really made it sound like that was the obstacle to overcome, is don't make those floats too short, or you're going to get puckering, or you're going to have a sock that you can't get over your heel. And so, you know, those are the things that I worked hardest to try and avoid. I did use what I think is I'm going to call that a planned afterthought heel. And I don't even know if the terminology that I'm using is correct. And I say that because I've never read any instruction on how to actually do an afterthought heel. I knit it same as you do a toe, but how I did this is I threw in, I think I did a row of, or 2 rows actually, of waste yarn. I knit that in the place where I intended to do the heel so that I could come back, pick up those rows, remove the waste yarn, and just knit that heel in. And I don't know. So most of the time, I'm a heel flap and gusset girly. I have a really high arch. I need that extra room. So even when a sock pattern does not call for heel flap and gusset, I try and find a way to modify the pattern and put in a heel flap and gusset, because that's just what fits me the most comfortably. And what I did do for this afterthought heel, I knit some extra rows for the heel before I started to decrease. And it was to give myself extra space because of that high arch. And now I'm seeing things. Nancy Wheeler has talked about doing short rows into an afterthought heel to make that fit better for people that have the higher arches. And that's something I haven't tried. But like I said, in all reality, I haven't tried any one specific version of an afterthought heel. I just went at it kind of the way it sounded to me like it was. I just kind of went for it. And so at some point in time, I will definitely, you know, grab a pattern that has the instruction for an afterthought heel and try and do it the way someone recommends and see how that turns out differently. But I love these socks, and I absolutely enjoyed wearing them through the cooler winter months and the coziness of a little bit of an extra thick sock. You do see some texture That's more my hand spun yarn, I think, than the color work. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'll find out the next time I tackle a color work knit. And like I said, there are definitely sweaters that I'm just drooling over. When am I going to get to wear them? I'm going to work so hard on a color work sweater. Maybe get to wear it a couple weeks out of the whole year. But I do want them. I do. And I don't even know how a rounded yoke sweater will fit my body because I've never knit one. And so all interesting things that I look forward to trying and learning about. I think that's everything I brought with me to share to, oh no, whips. Yes, indeed. So you'll remember last episode, I was working on the Hawthorn tank. Gorgeous pattern, absolutely gorgeous pattern. And I was so determined to do it in my hand spun. And that was fun, but you see, boy, that really does have a lot of structure for a little tank top, for a little summertime tank top. This really has a lot of structure, and that isn't what I was going for. This is 100% wool yarn that I spun, and certainly isn't what the pattern calls for, because they know better. They know better than I do. I just need to listen to them. Just listen to them. They know. So at some point in time, I was like, okay, I really just know better than what I'm doing, and I need to listen to the designer's recommendations so that once I've put all this work into something, I'm going to have a finished object that I can wear, that I can love and enjoy, that looks the way it's supposed to. So, frogging that, completely restarted. Oh, by the way, keeping my work in progress in my lovely Delaque train case. He is such a sweetie. So, here we go. Oh my goodness, what a difference this makes. I chose to rework the Hawthorn tank by Caitlin Hunter in Mirasol Inca in the color Topaz. And this is, I believe, I'll have to check on this. I think it's mostly viscose. No. Mostly alpaca. Alpaca and viscose. Some combination thereof. That I purchased that at the Shivering Sheep in Abilene, Kansas last spring. Delightful little yarn store. And let me just show you what a difference it makes to just listen to the designer, because they know what they're doing. Oh my goodness, you all. How gorgeous. Look at that. And now you can see, which it doesn't have, it's going to get, I think it's I-cord little straps that will go up here. But look at the drape. Look at the drape. She is still on the needles, so there's a little added weight. But yes. This is a knit doing what she's supposed to. So, listen to the designer. There's a reason they chose this specific yarn to design their pattern in. And if you want a finished garment like theirs, just listen to their recommendations. And now that I have, I'm going to get a sweater that is going to look so much nicer than trying to do a tank top in 100% wool, because that's crazy talk. However, this does have alpaca, and I know alpaca is very warm, and there may be some consequences on my part for choosing a yarn with alpaca content to do a summer knit in. I love it though, and I just couldn't help myself. But at least we've gotten away from wool, and we have drape now. I'm improving. I really am. I'm improving. Okay, so finally, you'll remember last episode I said, oh, you know, there are these two wheels that I've really been drooling over just for over a year. Sure would love to add to my fleet. Well, I broke down. I had a moment of weakness. I do plan on doing a little bit of traveling this summer. And even if I'm not traveling, it's so nice to have just an easy to take with me anywhere wheel for even here in town, right here where I live. I can take it out to coffee shops with me, just various things. Like if I'm going to go to the lake, take the dogs to the lake, let them play and swim for a while. That's an opportunity for me to sit and spin. And so I did indeed, due to the beautiful weather, could not resist grabbing an Ashford Joy 2. And so, give me just a moment. I'll grab that new wheel and show you what I know about her. Oh, and just real quick before I grab that wheel, the socks that I was speaking about, these are the Yucay socks. Yucay by Audrey Borrego, and those are free on Ravelry. So anyone else interested in checking out some sweet little colorwork socks, these I highly recommend. I had a blast doing them, and they were easy. They were easy for beginner color work. I really enjoyed it. And the other thing is, the whole time I was showing you this gorgeous Westknits MusiKAL, you could see my ends flying everywhere. I have not woven the ends in yet, and I finished it. I finished it in November. But seriously, come on, no judgment, y'all. This is gonna take forever. I have not been in any hurry to sit down and weave in all these ends. Not yet. I'm not ready for it yet. What's going to happen when we start to have the cool down next winter, and I really want to wear this? That's when I'm going to make the time to sit down and weave in all of these ends. So not until then. Just putting that off. Procrastinating while I cast on new things. Look at her. Isn't she lovely? This adorable little spinning wheel. It is so perfect to just fold up, throw in its little carrying case, and poof, you're on the go wherever you want to go. The only thing I would say is I wish that it would somehow fold up with the flyer. But how is that possible, right? And so you do have to take the flyer off, and bobbin, of course, to take it with you on the go. But that's not such a big deal, I suppose. So I'm really looking forward this spring, summer, fall to taking this little beauty on the go with me. I can get out into public spaces, take the dogs, let them get fresh air and, you know, socialization, and spin a little while I'm out. So that's super exciting for me, super fun. I do have spindles, and I guess I really haven't mentioned that previously. Maybe sometime I'll do a little spindle lineup. I do have spindles, various kinds of spindles, and while they're fun to spin on, it's so slow going for me, which I admit I haven't mastered any spindle. I have not mastered any kind of spindle spinning techniques. It's just so slow for me, and I just don't feel like anytime in the near future I'm going to spin enough on any spindle to create any project. What I really relish is wheel spinning. So it was important to me for my spinning journey, my knitting journey, to have a wheel that I could just grab and go real easily. And I do have the little electric wheel, and of course it is easy to take along, but for me it's an inconvenience to be concerned about, is the battery charged? How charged up is the battery? It's going to act a little weird as the battery gets low. Things like that I just don't want to be bothered with. And with this beauty, I'm not. She's just ready. She's just ready. Throw her in a bag and go. Yes. Only weighs 11 pounds. So even for me, that's just no trouble at all. Even with dog leashes in hand, I can carry an 11-pound spinning wheel, get myself where I want to be. So I'm super pleased about this and looking forward to adventures with her. Set her down, and I've only spun just the smallest little bit of sampling, some sample yarn with her so far. And this was in kind of a medium, and it just said wool. The bag, so I bought the Ashford Joy 2 from the Woolery in Frankfort, Kentucky. And for me, that's very convenient. I ordered it online, and I had it the very next, well, I ordered it on a weekend. And so I think maybe a Sunday night, and I had the wheel by like Monday or Tuesday. Nothing to, I mean, it was just so fast, nothing to it. But I also ordered their, I think they call it the free flyer. It's like the art yarn flyer for the wheel, and I'm super excited about that. This will now be the first spinning wheel I will be able to create art yarn on. I don't have any others in my fleet that I can do that with comfortably. And of course the orifice is large enough on my little eel, but I had some concern about the size of the hooks on the flyer itself, catching if it were a really bulky art yarn. And what I'm specifically interested in spinning, I think it's called tail spinning. I have these long, gorgeous locks of Teeswater. I have a whole Teeswater fleece. I mean, these locks are something like 15 inches long. So the girl who's never spun any art yarn whatsoever wants to learn to spin various kinds of art yarn, working my way up to tail spinning these gorgeous 15-inch long Teeswater locks to make something funky. I mean, I think that I could just have so much fun with that. But first I have to learn to crawl before, or walk before I run. And yeah, I just knew looking at the construction of the Dreaming Robots eel, it's not going to handle the places I want to go. but I know that the free flyer for this Joy too absolutely will. And I don't know if you noticed, it's a single treadle, and that was a decision I got to make. You can order them with double or single treadles. And I'm a lazy spinner. I'm a girly that wants to sit in the living room, 1 foot down on my spinning wheel treadle, and you know, maybe my other one tucked up under me on the couch. So I intentionally went for the single treadle. It's a little more comfortable for me. And here I've been playing with, here is the yarn that I spun. Just see if that's gonna focus. Who knew about it? So when you order a new wheel from the Woolery in Frankfort, they always throw in like a bag of wool with it for free. And this was, it just says wool, it doesn't say what breed, nothing like that. And it's maybe a medium, kind of a medium feel. And I certainly, I mean, I feel like there is a learning curve with this Joy. Something I've noticed about this wheel that I didn't experience with my other spinning wheels is it has a tendency to always want to spin only one way. So I have to fight with it a little bit to spin in the opposite direction. And I both spun and plied this yarn on that wheel. And then when it came time to ply, it has on it what I'm going to call bobbin storage down on the bottom of it. And it calls it a built-in lazy Kate. Maybe for some folks it is. For me, it was not. I could not get my bobbins to turn freely from the angle in which that built-in lazy Kate is situated. So I grabbed my go-to, the Eel Dreaming Robots. I don't know if it's for the Eel specifically, but it's the Dreaming Robots lazy Kate. And there's one more segment that also attaches onto this that I don't have with these because I'm using it somewhere else right now. That is my favorite lazy Kate. That is it's my go-to, regardless of which wheel that I'm using. This is the easiest one for me to situate anywhere I like. My husband has a 3D printer, and so he has printed attachments for this lazy Kate that I can use for bobbins for any of the wheels that I have. And so this is my go-to. I have an Ashford lazy Kate, which, by the way, it does fit the Ashford Joy bobbins and my traditional bobbins. So that's certainly something I could just grab and use. But I also have the lazy Kate that came with my Shacked Matchless. And then I have this lazy Kate, and this one really is my favorite of them all. So highly recommend one of these little dudes if you're struggling with the other lazy Kates that you might have. So what have I been up to here in South Central Kentucky since the last time I recorded? Husband and I, we had read the book Project Hail Mary months and months ago. Absolutely loved it. We enjoyed it together, and I'm not usually a sci-fi fan, not necessarily, and this one just swept me off my feet. It was so good, so good. Just ate it up. Couldn't wait to hear more. I mean, it was so good. Well, then, not long after we had enjoyed the book together, and you know, and we're talking about it here and there, back and forth. And he tells me, honey, they're going to make a movie. We have to go see this. So we had already put into our calendars just months and months ago that the movie was going to be released in March, and that we would start looking, you know, for when it would come out in theaters so that we could get out and see that together. So it was a big deal, and we saw finally, you know, when it was going to be out. And we were like, oh yeah, we can't go to our little local theater for this, because our local theater, you know, it's all right. We wanted to go somewhere special. My husband wanted to go see it in a theater that has IMAX. So we bought our tickets well in advance and drove all the way to Knoxville, Tennessee, about 2 hours from where we are. And so that's what we did Saturday, and the weather was picture perfect. Not too warm, not cool at all. It was just absolutely beautiful. Big long drive, and I did a little bit of knitting in the car. We saw the movie, which was spectacular. It was everything that we hoped it would be. We weren't at all disappointed. Maybe I would have been. I think there are times when I personally would have been a little confused had I not read the book first. There were some things I thought maybe weren't explained very well, but no matter, because I did read the book first, so I knew exactly what was going on. Even if they left some tidbits out, I knew all about it, so I was perfectly happy. So had the best time, excellent movie experience, fun little dinner afterwards. And the restaurant that we went to had outdoor seating. Again, really not something that's offered so much in the town that I live in. And so that was so fun for me because when there's outdoor seating, people bring their dogs. We were sat right across from some people that had their golden retriever with them, and it had the best behavior. She was just absolutely gorgeous, perfectly behaved. There were some German short-haired pointers that were there dining. I absolutely love that. It's my favorite when I can go someplace and dine where people have their dogs. And so I socialized with the dogs a little bit, and I spoke to the people only about the dogs, of course. And then we made our way back home. But that excursion was a whole day for us. So we didn't get home until probably close to 10 o'clock that night, exhausted. Full day, wonderful day. Then the next day, which would have been yesterday, we my dear friend that I mentioned in the previous episode, who is also a spinner, also a knitter. I bought my Ashford traditional from her. She's moving away, leaving me. It's very bittersweet because I'm going to miss her so much, but it's also a really good move for her and her family. So it's very bittersweet. And she and her husband ride motorcycles, as do my husband and I. And so they've always been a couple that we would plan rides with and ride together with. And so it was almost 90 degrees here yesterday. And that's what we did. We all planned a big ride together, and we rode around Laurel Lake and took in all the sights. We got to ride over Wolf Creek Dam, and that's always stunningly beautiful. We caught lunch together in Jamestown, and so it was beautiful. It was wonderful spending time with them, and you know, saying goodbye is just so bittersweet. I know for sure I'll get to see her one more time before she leaves. It's just gonna be hard having her gone so far away. But the upside to that is that I will get to go and visit her where she moves to. It's going to be here in the United States, and so I will get to go and spend time with her in her new beautiful home. And so the other things that I've been working on, that the family has been working on since the last time I recorded, we are under construction. We are still working on renovations in our house. Among other things, there are other projects going on as well. And so we've been whittling away, making progress on those things. And those things can feel so consuming when they're taking up a lot of space in your home. And, you know, it's an obstacle course walking over and around things. And so, you know, it's a big thing, and it just can't happen. Unfortunately, it just can't happen too quickly. It's something that we have to be patient with and just get through. And know there are better things on the other end, right? I mean, there's a reason that you plan and do these things. They're just, for me, it's a little hard because clutter is like visual static for me. And so when I get into a room that's in a lot of disorder, it's hard for me to think clearly. And it, yeah, managing inside my brain just becomes very difficult when I'm in a disorderly place. And a lot of my home is very disorderly right now because of just big projects that are going on and things that have to get done. And this is just part of what's going on, and we've got to get through it. And I'm going to be very happy when it's all done. Happy that we chose to do it, and happy that it's over with. So yeah, so those are the things that have been going on and stealing away some of my knitting time since the last time I recorded. And I do tend to be someone that focuses primarily on one project. I mean, sometimes I'll have a pair of socks going on kind of in the background just so that I can have some take along knitting. And even then, it's usually going to be like plain vanilla socks so that I don't have to think about it, so that I don't have to worry about a pattern, anything like that. I mean, it really is just take along knitting for when I'm in situations where I want to knit and can't concentrate on knitting. And so, yeah, dogs, I have absolutely amazing golden retrievers. One of them's laying underneath my feet right here. Amazing golden retrievers that consume a large part of my every single day. And then my husband, of course, there's another dog in the house. So we have 3 dogs in our home. And the third one, she is almost 11 years old. She is shaped like a German Shepherd, but she's yellow. And we've always thought probably she has golden retriever in her, although who knows? We'll never know. But she's absolutely perfect, whatever she is. And she had to have a small growth removed recently. So she had a little surgery and she's been recovering from that. And, and that requires a little extra time too, scheduling meds and things like that, and just looking after her a little bit extra. But as the weather has gotten prettier, we've been spending more outdoor time. I've been spending more time outside with the dogs. And one of my Goldens likes to take stuffies outside to play with. And so that's a fun time. But yeah, and I'm starting to, plan things. I'm getting really excited about when it's going to be warm enough to take the dogs to the lake, take them for some long lakeside walks or on some big, beautiful hikes, just things like that. But a lot of my day, every day goes to dogs. These guys they kind of boss me around. They kind of run the house. They tell me what to do and when to do it, and I'm happy to comply. I live to make their lives the very best they can be, and that fulfills me. So yeah, so that's what's been going on since the last time I recorded, along with whatever knitting I can fit in there, or whatever spinning. And I tend not to spin as much in the evenings. Once the family settles in for the evening, I want to sit down with my knitting. That's when I really want to just relax, and I don't want to be sitting up thinking about, what I'm working with at my wheel. And so, yeah, that's what I've had going on. Let's see, over the next couple of weeks, Nashfest is coming up. Big, big, big. I haven't been to Nashfest before, and so I'm super excited about it. I don't exactly know what it's going to entail. I don't know seems like last year, and maybe it's just, in what I'm being exposed to, but it seems like last year there were more announcements in advance about who was going to be there and what to look forward to, and I don't think I've seen as much of that this year, and I don't know why, but it worked. Last year I missed it, and I was so, distraught about what I missed that this year I bought my tickets way in advance. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to miss it again. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to going to Nashfest, and I'm sure I'll pick up some fiber. I'm sure. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing who all's at Nashfest this year. And hopefully some of you can make it as well, and I hope to see you all there. So I think that's all I have for this episode, and I look forward to seeing you again, hopefully in around about 2 weeks. So if you've enjoyed spending time with me, go ahead and like and subscribe, and please share with your friends. I hope to grow the community. Bye!